What's going on, everybody? Matt here, back with another fall camp report segment. So for today's show, it's going to be a little bit shorter than the past couples. We've got some big commitments coming down the pipeline tonight: Cedric Baxter and Ricky Collins. So I've got to get ready to cover both of those for the YouTube channel and for the website. So a little bit shorter one, but still some very interesting nuggets in today's fall camp reports. So we're going to start with obviously the major news that broke this morning in Sam Hartman. He is going to be out. It's listed as indefinitely, and I definitely want to say, prayers up to him. We are thinking about him and his family and hoping for the best. Obviously, there was a lot of quick reaction to this news when it first came out. While we don't want to speculate on how serious it is, his head coach Clausen has come out and said that he will be back this season. It was something that came up. He's already had whatever medical surgery needed to be done to actually happen today. He was at camp as of today. This is August 10th. He was at camp today and talked to the team. So they do believe he will be back at some point in time this season. Obviously, we hope that that's a good thing, that it was not a massive medical thing and that he's going to be okay, especially in the fact that they are saying that he's going to play this year. It looks like Mitch Griffiths is going to be the one. I thought it might be Michael Kern. If you follow me on Twitter, I was mentioning him to a couple people. But Clausen says that right now it is going to be Mitch Griffiths taking the number one reps, and he did that all day today. And that they want it to be a competition going on, but it does look like they're pretty much going to roll with Mitch Griffiths. So again, just prayers up to Sam Hartman that everything is going to be okay with him. They are expecting him back this season, so that is obviously great news for Sam Hartman and the Demon Deacons. Moving over to Missouri and sticking at the quarterback position. Eli Drinkowitz announced last night that Brady Cook is going to be the starter for Missouri in the opening game versus Louisiana Tech. Is definitely interesting. We're very curious to see who is going to get that job. I'm partial to Sam Horn. Fan of him, the freshman, did not get selected in the baseball draft, which was kind of one of our big concerns with him, but he did not get selected. So it is going to be, though, Brady Cook. Sam Horn is currently listed as a QB3 on the depth chart, but reports are he's actually looked pretty good in camp, but that he's probably not going to be challenging the number one spot right now. They do believe he is the future, and apparently he has looked fairly impressive, but he is projected to just be the QB3 on the roster. Moving over to TCU and sticking with the quarterback position, Chandler Morris for the second day in a row took all of the first team snaps. That is today, Wednesday. This is big. And we talked a little bit about this on yesterday's fall camp news, that he was getting a lot of the first team snaps. I think it's going to be Chandler Morris. I think that's what they're leaning to. I've mentioned many times that they really seem to like Sam Jackson, and we kind of know what Max Duggan is. It's not a shot at him. He's a good player, but it just looks like Chandler Morris gives them a little bit more on that offense, at least what Sonny Dykes wants. I expect Chandler Morris to keep this job moving forward as we are getting close to wrapping up fall camps as well. I did not realize that a lot of these don't go up to the season. They do close out fairly soon. Looks like Chandler Morris is going to be the guy. Going over to Texas Tech, all signs point to Tyler Shuck being the starter here. He's continued to get the reps with the ones, and reports are that he has been great throughout fall camp. You can count on one hand the amount of bad throws that he's had, according to all the reports. More surprising, though, is that Donovan Smith turned his poor spring into apparently a very strong fall camp so far. He has been extremely good and is back to challenging Morton for the backup. Coming out of spring, it really felt like Morton had solidified that second spot behind Tyler Shuck. Now it looks like Donovan Smith is pushing Morton again to take that spot. While reports continue to say that Morton does look good, it is definitely going to be the future. And there's a lot of people that are very excited to see what he will look like under center for this team because they feel he's got the most talent. It is still a battle right now for the backup between him and Donovan Smith. Lastly, Jared Bradley has solidified his spot as the X-wide receiver on this team, and he seems primed to be the second guy here behind Miles Price in this offense. He is making a ton of noise right now in Texas Tech Red Raiders camp. They've been very happy and very surprised with how great he has been. So, we talked a little bit about Luke Fungi, who maybe gets some love here, but it seems like Jared Bradley He is the guy behind Miles Price. Well, not obviously in the spot. Miles Price is going to be in the slot, but he's going to be the X wide receiver and a guy that they're really excited about in this offense. Going over to Clemson, this one's been a little. This is probably a day or two old, but I just wanted to point this out that they're very high on Cade Klubnik right now. They said that he's come into the fall part of the camp definitely more knowledgeable and more confident. He's put in a ton of work. He's gotten behind on the air. He's gotten caught up on all the installations. Everything just seems to be a really good leader. It seems like everything has slowed down for him compared to what he was doing in spring. On Antonio Williams, they're talking about how he is extremely agile, very fast, very instinctual player, and has looked really good on the field. And last but not least, Adam Randall. We know he tore his ACL back in the springtime, or so they say. I find it very hard to believe that he actually tore his ACL with the news that you're about to hear. He clocked the fastest time at practice yesterday at 20 miles per hour, and they are expecting him back before the season starts, which is insane to me. He tore his ACL back in spring. That was only a couple months ago. We're not talking about 8 months ago, 9 months ago. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like maybe Adam Randall did not tear his ACL quite to what the length that Clemson is saying. Maybe I don't know what happened, but they are expecting him to be out there. So Adam Randall could be a key factor for this offense this year. I'm very excited to see what this means for them. And last but not least, going back into the Big 12, and I want to talk about Oklahoma. So we know that Dylan Gabriel is going to be the starting quarterback there. Nick Evers, the freshman. Some of us were kind of high on him, but going into spring, he played pretty poorly based on all the reports. Well, Davis Bevel seems to be tracking to be the backup now. However, Nick Evers has apparently looked much improved since the last poor impression he left on us in spring, and is tracking to be the third over General Booty, and that he is getting closer to Bevel. He's not going to challenge Gabriel, but that Nick Evers has looked better. What I do want to point out is that it does seem like Marvin Mims and Eric Gray are along with Gabriel, and there's no questions whatsoever about their starting position. Eric Gray solidified as a starting running back this year, which is good. We've been hoping to kind of see him there, but there were some worries that maybe him and Marcus Major would be splitting time. It does seem like maybe that still happens, but that Eric Gray is solidified as the starting running back for the Oklahoma Sooners. However, now I'm going to be petty here, guys, because I almost cussed. I talked about this player. I was a big fan of his coming out of high school, and a lot of people kind of crapped on me for liking him and saying that he's not going to be that good. He didn't show up to spring camp. He's already gotten passed by Javonte Barnes. Gavin Sawchuck is big time impressing right now at Oklahoma camp. He is not running with the ones, but he has apparently caught everybody's attention in the fact that he has made big play after big play. His big play ability is looking like it's going to get him a shot at this rotation. We know that Eric Gray and Marcus Major are going to be the top two in the rotation, but all the sources are saying that Sawchuck, just based on what he's done so far in fall camp, is earning himself playing time. It does help, obviously, that Javonte Barnes has been dealing with some kind of lower body injury. They have not said what it is, but he has not been out there. But Gavin Sawchuck has seized that opportunity with Barnes being out. He's, again, made incredibly amount of big plays here at practice. And apparently he's added some much-needed weight and really taken to the playbook. They said he's come and he's been super smart and super savvy, and he is extremely hard to tackle and get in the open space. Now, I don't know how much weight exactly he's added. He is still listed at 185 on the Oklahoma website. I don't know if that means that's the weight he added. I would assume he added a little bit more because he was at about 185 in high school. Regardless, the love for Gavin Sawchuck here, I absolutely love. He's a running back that I've kind of been behind for a while now. I think he's going to be a really good player. And again, I've said that it's his big play ability. He's got a lot of speed, really good receiving back. So I'm excited to see that he's doing well for Oklahoma. And I'm excited to see what he does on the field for the Sooners this year. That will do it for today's show, guys. Got the links in the description. CampusToCanton.com. You want the Devy guide, the freshman guide, the CFF guide. They're all going to be in the description for this. We will be back for one more show on Thursday. As I mentioned, I will be traveling to the Expo on Friday, so we will not have a fall camp recap here on Friday. Everybody enjoy your day, and we will talk to you guys